All right. Welcome to another episode of Profusion or podcast Profusion. Today we have Keaton Hoskins. If you don't know who this guy is, you should. This guy, I follow influencers in the last 5 years. I'd say I've gotten into personal growth last 5, 7, 8 years. This guy is, in my opinion, as fast on the rise out of anybody in the influencer space. Am I offending you, or is that okay to say? Because I know you had a long.
You go right ahead and say your thing.
I mean, I know you were in TV. You know what I mean. So, I didn't watch that. You know what I mean. So I guess it's a different demographic or audience, right?
For sure.
So on my scope, you've risen really fast. Especially with your, yeah, man. And you know what? And I like to think I'm a pretty smart guy. And I tell you this, you have an amazing mindset. And that's what I wanted to dig in with you. Your mindset is nuts. Okay. You believe you can do anything, but when I hear you say it, I actually believe you believe it.
So if nothing else, I like people to believe that I believe it.
You're selling it. Even if you don't, I believe that you believe it. So then I think it's real. And that, like, the pace that you're able to manage your cadence, I guess, and your speech is amazing. And I'm so impressed, and I'm grateful to have you here, and I'm grateful to schedule you. We had a couple adjustments, but I'm happy to have you here for the next 30, 35 minutes. So tell us what's going on with Keaton Hoskins, man.
Man, that is a very open-ended question. There's a lot going on. I actually just got back from a family vacation, and I'm in the process. For those who do follow me, they know that I work, really hard on Limitless Society, and which is my mentoring program to help people get in the right mindset, right? Because mindset is everything. And recently I had my big event, Limitless Arena, where we had some crazy speakers. And to be very frank with you, the only thing I'm thinking about right now and what I'm essentially doing is I'm solidifying the next event, which is going to be April 27th. And the speakers for the next event are going to be absurd.
Better than the last event?
Even better than the last event, yeah. Some of the same ones will remain.
Yeah. Can you say who's going to be? Can you say who's going to be there?
I can. I'll tell you just because contracts are signed essentially, but I've got Andy Frizella again, Ed Milet, Andy Elliott again, and Jen Gottlieb, which I'm really excited about. But the powerhouses this year is going to be Tony Robbins. Okay. Tony has committed to be on the stage and do the event with me, and I'm really excited because Tony doesn't do events with people. He only does his own events, and so he doesn't. He never really comes and does events with people. So this is kind of an honor for me. And then his CEO is Dean Graziosi. Dean will also be speaking, and then we've got Kevin Hart that's going to be coming. He's going to speak kind of on business.
Whoa.
Mindset. Yeah.
Whoa.
And then we'll have Post Malone come and give us some cool concert stuff.
Dude, Tony Robbins. Okay, you're gonna get a lot. If you didn't already have a lot of interest, you're gonna get
absolutely
more.
Absolutely.
Right,
well,
and then Kevin Hart's nuts.
That's the idea. Yeah. I want to make these events just unbelievably valuable. I want to change people's lives. I'm not pitching anything. I mean, I would love for people to join Limitless Society, but I'm not even pitching Limitless Society to people. I genuinely want people to see what I bring to the world, the value, the mindset, the energy, and I want them to be a part of it. And the only way really to be a part of it is to join Limitless Society. And that's essentially what I want the world to see, but I'm not going to pitch it. I'm not going to beg it. I'm not going to sell it. I'm just going to have people literally like, hey, I want to do whatever the hell he's doing. The coolest part about what I am putting together, though, is that everybody in Limitless will actually have all of my events that I do all year round for free. So instead of this event costing you thousands of dollars, like it will for a lot of people, if you're in Limitless, it's free. So
no way. Really?
Kind of cool. Yeah.
But Limitless is only like I think I looked it up, $297 a month, right?
Yeah, it's $297 a month, and there's no contract. Or if you're really committed, then you'll get in and do the $5,800 membership, which is a lifetime membership. So ultimately, what's cool is you come in, you do the lifetime membership, or you do the month to month. If you're in Limitless, you get access to these events for free, 100% for free, no gimmick, no bullshit. I want people to know that are in the program the value of which they will get. And it's not just me, it's the people I will put in front of them. And that's what I'm so excited for.
Yeah. Well, they're not getting that super VIP. Are you doing that again? Or are you not doing that? What are you doing?
I will always do the VIP. Okay. That is by far my favorite aspect of what I do. The coolest thing about the VIP is I bring all those speakers like Tony Robbins and Ed Milet and Andy Frisell. I bring them to my house. And at my house, ultimately, it's the highest level of networking you can possibly do. If anybody is smart at all, they know that the more hands you shake, the more money you make. That your network is your net worth. That's as simple as I can tell people. And a lot of people have a hard time like understanding that. But the more people you're in the room with, the more successful you'll be. So ultimately, what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to create a room of just the baddest people on the planet that want to connect with each other. That's what the VIP is for. And that's for only a select few people who are willing to be a part of that. And yeah, I'm going to do that every year because it's my favorite thing.
Is that you can have the same so I would have gone to the first one. I'm glad you're doing a second one because you could have been one and done. You could have left on top, right? But
for sure.
I was out of the country on a cruise ship. It was like I was like, oh man, this is too crazy for me to get there. But I usually do the VIP stuff. So the next one, do you have a structure on that? Like, is it like 10K again, or is it 5K? Is it 100K?
No, it'll probably be 10K. Everybody I talk to that's kind of helping me put this on wants me to charge more, but I'm kind of committed to the 10K mark because that gets you in the game and it allows you to come. It's going to be the night before the event where all the speakers will come. I'm probably going to have Post Malone at the house to perform again. I'll probably have Tony Robbins there speak for a minute. So you'll get, one-on-one time with Tony Robbins, which is amazing. And I'm going to keep doing these, dude, because I really, really enjoy them. And it's a way for me to connect people with people, like really high level. If I opened my house up to the world and said, hey, just come and meet these people, I'd have 10,000 people wasting time. I don't want that. I want people who are willing to put in the time and the money to get out of it what they want, which is a better network, better connections, and better relationships. So 100%, I will always do VIP.
I like it. I'm having people over my house, but I'm not charging them. I should probably start.
Definitely get that.
What's that?
I said I definitely get that.
I probably should. It'd be a lot more fun if I did. Maybe the next one. But okay, so I want to kind of dig into your mindset. Can you grab a nugget from maybe from your history or experience on that, or am I just too off base?
No. If I were to give a piece of information to your listeners, and I don't know how many listeners you have, or I know nothing about your podcast other than on and share some knowledge. Yeah. For those that are listening to the podcast, those who are actually taking the time, I will tell you the best piece of advice I can give anybody is always going to be very similar. And that's this. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his personal journal that we now have for everybody to share. He talked about death, and he talked about contemplating death. He said that a man should contemplate death twice a day, in the morning and in the evening. And the reason that he taught that is because death puts us into perspective. When you talk to somebody and they just lost somebody, they're usually in a different mindset than they were the day before when they hadn't lost them. The reality is that each one of us have a timer on our shoulder, a sand hourglass that's literally running out. And the truth is, if we could see that time, we wouldn't waste the time that we're given, and we would be more grateful for the things that we have, both the day and the time and the hour. So the one thing that I like to teach the world, one of my greatest messages is to the world, is that you should wake up and contemplate death, and it should put you in the right perspective to make the right decisions for the day you're given. You should be grateful for the day you're given. You should be grateful for the time that you have. You should be grateful for the life that you lead and for those around you. One of the things I do often when I think on death is I think on the death of my children and on my spouse. And what that does is it puts me into the right perspective to have the right relationships with them that I seek. Because in perspective, I should love every single moment that I get with them. And the truth is, if you're a good father or a good mother, you probably don't always have the best interactions with your children because they drive you bonkers sometimes, which is okay. But the truth is that if you want to be in a mindset and a perspective that will change your life and your relationships, you should contemplate your own death and the death of those around you, the death of those people you love the most. And then the conversations, the interactions, the everything that you do has a real purpose, because the perspective in which you have now is that today could be my last, or even worse, today could be their last. So for me, when people ask, well, what's a nugget that you can give me? Well, you should start contemplating on death. You should think on it often. You should allow it to change your perspective in the way that it can or should, to allow you the life that you seek. And that life, and this is really simple, and this will be one really big nugget, that life is really, it's really only one thing. Everybody always wonders, like, what's the purpose of life? What's the purpose? What's my purpose? Everybody's purpose is the exact same. It's the exact same. And most people listening are going to try to disagree until they understand how I unfold it. It's this. The purpose of life is to be present in every moment. That's the purpose. You came to this life to experience this life and to be present. And as you're present, you experience it. And as you experience it, you learn. You're supposed to learn. The problem is that most people are in the past or they're in the future. That's why we have depression and anxiety. So truthfully, the purpose of life is really, really simple. Stop living in the past, stop focusing on the future, and be present in this exact moment. Now, I would imagine you probably have a million things going on before this and after this. I know I do. But the truth is that we're given this present moment for you and I to be very, very present in our conversation, which you're going to get. You're going to get a present me, and I want to present you. And then we're going to learn, and we're going to create a relationship. But if I wasn't present and you weren't present, none of this shit would matter. And the truth is, for those people who are listening, most likely they're driving in a car or they're somewhere else thinking about something else. And I will tell you, the purpose in life is to be present. So if you can, for a moment, be present, and if you can, for a moment, in the present moment, realize that this may be your last. Like, today might be your last day, dude. That's kind of crazy, but that could be it. If it is, how will you finish out today? Who will you speak to? Who will you talk to? How will you interact with them? How will you treat them? What will you say? And if you can understand, and this is kind of a crazy thought too, somebody that's going to listen to this podcast will die tomorrow. They will. And that's crazy to think about, but that will happen. And I hope that for me and for anybody I interact with, I can help them to do two things: become present and enjoy life and the experiences, and learn and find their purpose, because their purpose is to be present. And then when they're present, teach them how to remain in the perspective they should, which is through the thought and contemplation of death, of themselves and those around them. You do those things, those two things, every single thing in your life will change. Everything. Most people will never do it. And that's why this is such a simple principle, but the masses don't understand it.
Preach. Okay. So I kind of summarize that as like, also just be freaking fearless. That's kind of like my takeaway, like be alive and be fearless and also be present. Cause yeah, you can get caught up in the future, the past. Obviously is that even reality? If you're thinking about the future and the past, does it even matter? It's not, it makes life, I guess, irrelevant, right? Because if you're not in the present, then it doesn't matter. But people like to think, right? Like to think about things, but I like to think about things in my sleep, but
listen, I do the same thing. There's always times for you to think about the past and reconsider it. There's always times for you to think on the future and plan for it. But the majority of your day should always be in the present. How do you make the growth that you seek in your business, in your life, in your relationships, if you're always in the future or always in the past? You can't. You will never, ever become more developed than you currently are by focusing on the past and the future and never thinking about the present moment. You just won't do it. That's one of the reasons why most people are on autopilot. By the age 30, most people are on autopilot their entire day.
Yeah.
And the only way to get out of that, the only way to get through that is to break out of autopilot, get into be in the present moment. And then again, to reference them back to the mindset, the simple mindset, which is, hey man, you could die tomorrow. They could die tomorrow. Is this interaction in this moment important to you if that were to happen?
Yeah. I also like, I get on autopilot too. I feel like it's kind of hard not to, especially with like being married and having kids. It's like easy, but maybe not for you. Maybe not. Right. But what I notice is traveling helps break that for me. Like I'll force myself to travel and it'll break that autopilot and remember, okay, there's still a world out there to do things, So I feel like that kind of helps me. I don't know. What do you?
Yeah, no, dude, I agree with you, dude. This is the thing: is everybody's different. There isn't one approach to it. Whatever it takes to do it, you should do it. But you never find that out unless you decide to put in the work. One of the I actually just put up a post just recently, and I said, if you can decide to work on yourself as hard as you work on your job and as hard as you work on your hobbies, you will be successful in everything, right? And the truth to that is most people work hard in one area, either at their job or on their hobby, and they never really work on themselves. And whatever that is, dude, everybody's different. Like to say, well, this is what you have to do to work on yourself. No, there's no guided path. There's no program. Everybody's different. You have weaknesses I don't have. You have strengths I don't have. So for us to say, hey, we're on the same program of personal growth, it's not going to happen. So again, you work on that.
Yeah. So you love to talk about what's interesting. I find interesting. You like to push marriage into business. You like to say, all right, is your marriage good? What do you do to keep your marriage, on top, on the rise?
I prioritize it, number one, and then I'm present in it. One of the things my spouse, my wife, she's amazing. She gives me my time. I actually work here at my house, and my office is pretty much in the middle of the house. Dude, and I'm in and out all day. She sees me, but I'm not really here because the truth is I work 12 to 14 hours a day, and my time is dedicated to my work. But when it's time to be present with my spouse and with my family and with her, I am. And I prioritize it. Most people who are full of shit will tell you there's no such thing as balance in life. And that's not true. It's not true. They're just too lazy to have that much effort put into something other than what they're being really great at. Everybody said to Michael Jordan, there's no such thing as balance. I had to go all in at basketball. You're right, you did. But why couldn't you have given that same energy, not time, but energy to your family, your children, your wife? Why couldn't you have? There's no excuse. There isn't. And again, dude, we're not talking about time. I spend 12 to 14 hours a day working. My energy and my time is pushed to that. But guess what? For 2 or 3 hours a day, I give my children and my wife that same energy and that same work. And that's where the balance lies. So for me, again, my relationship is absolutely most important. It's the priority. It doesn't take 14 hours of her and I being together to make the day work or to make our marriage work. What it does take is a few simple hours a day with the same amount of energy and tenacity and work in our marriage. And then we have that marriage that we seek. And my marriage is just as good as my business. And that's where you find true success.
Right. Yeah. All right. I got a few questions. I got a few topics here. If you're like, I don't want to talk about that, that's fine. I like to get weird, man. All right. So this is like, what do you think about like guns in schools, like that kind of stuff? Like how do they manage that in America? Because
I think it's a really simple answer. I think that there should be guns in schools dedicated to those who are skilled enough to use it. I think if you were to put armed police officers and armed security, maybe veterans in those roles to protect the children, I think you would see a lot less gun violence. Fairly simple idea. Yeah. I'm very, very pro-gun. I will always be pro-gun until I die.
I like it. I agree with that. The security. They got armed security. Maybe they need more. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they need they got like one guard at our kids' school. Maybe they need 2 or 3.
For sure.
All right. What were you born into money, or did you earn it? Did you make it?
No, I had no money ever.
Okay.
My father and my mother were middle class. And middle class sounds pretty good, but when you have 5 kids like me, that costs you a lot of money. So we lived in a very middle class house and had 2 vehicles and didn't have enough money for much. So we saved up for vacations, and I definitely wasn't poor. We definitely didn't have money, but I will tell you, when my father passed away and I was 21, I had about $150 to my name. From that time until today, I've never had anybody help me ever. I've had a bank give me a loan for a home or for a car, but outside of that, I was never, ever given anything. I was never given a hand up. I was never given money, nothing. Now, I can't say I'm self-made. I think anybody who says they're self-made is full of shit, because people help you get there. And I have wonderful teams, essentially, that surround me. But for all intent and purpose, I was a self-made millionaire. I did not have somebody loan me the money. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have help. I didn't have somebody guiding me. I did it all. And by the time I was 30, I became a millionaire.
Oh, by 30. Okay. That's early.
Yeah.
So when were you on TV? Was that before 30? Is that?
I started on TV at like 20, I think I was 28.
Okay. Towards the end. Got it.
Yeah. And to be honest, most people ask the question, well, you made all your money from TV. I made no money from TV. Zero.
Right.
Zero money. Most people think that TV reality show stars make a ton of money. Number one, they don't. Some of them make a little bit. I made about $250,000 over 8 years. That's how much I made.
Okay.
And
that sounds like a waste of time.
Huge waste of time. I got sued by the EPA for the TV show.
Oh God.
And I got sued for $290,000.
Wow.
So again, when people ask like how much money, I didn't make any money.
Yeah.
I made 250 over 8 years, and then I paid 290 to be on the show because the EPA sued me. So no, I didn't make any money that way. I built companies from the time I was 21 until even now. I build companies.
So what are you doing now? Is Limitless, the society, your primary sole focus in the event? Is that, or do you have other business?
It has become that. Yes. I've started 35 companies in the last 15 years.
Okay.
I'm 36 now. And in the last 15 years, I've built 35 companies from the ground up. Some of them have been really successful. Some of them have been kind of successful. At the end of the day, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 companies right now, and Limitless Society is all I care about. It's my mentoring program, and it's the only thing that I find huge meaning in. I have a supplement company. I own a fitness expo company. I have a hard money lending company. I have a mobile detailing company. I guess I have more than 4. I have a few companies. Anyway,
how do you keep up? Isn't that too many? How do you keep up with all that?
I have a CEO in every one of my companies. I don't run companies anymore. I start them. I get the infrastructure set up. I put CEOs in the positions. Even in Limitless Society, I have a CEO. And in those companies, I allow the CEOs to do the work. And then I just kind of get a report each week. But I'll tell you, mentoring and Limitless Society is where all of my focus is. It's all I care about because it's the most rewarding thing I could possibly be doing. I watch people's lives change, and that's all I care about.
Yeah. So you have a CEO for each company. I find that interesting. That's a good idea.
If you're a true business owner, you're not a CEO. I'll just tell you that right now. So anybody who has, and I don't know what your demographic is of people that listen. If you are a worker, you should work 9 to 5. If you're an entrepreneur, you should hire out every single position in your company as soon as you possibly can. You shouldn't be doing marketing. You shouldn't be the CEOs. You shouldn't be doing CPA. You shouldn't be doing the sales. You shouldn't be doing any of that. And as soon as your company can sustainably do it, you should hire somebody to do it.
So did you think of that yourself, like over time through your experience, or did somebody teach you that, or did you see that?
100%. Because I realized that for me to be successful, I had to focus on one thing. Well, my one thing is building businesses. That's what my one thing is. I can't build a business when I'm doing CPA work in one of the companies. Most business owners work too much in their business instead of on their business. You can only work on your business when you have a CEO and a CPA and a sales guy and a marketing guy and all those people. Now, again, for most people who start a company, that's not feasible. But as soon as you possibly can, you get those people in that position. You just do.
Interesting. So, okay. All right. I got another left field. Are you okay with a left field question?
Whatever. Send them my way.
I just want everybody, what do you think about abortions?
I actually thought about this. So my wife's pregnant.
Okay.
And I thought about the correct answer for this.
Okay.
And I think there is a correct answer that appeases both sides, and it's really simple. I think that if you are to allow an abortion, you have to give it only a certain amount of time. So, for example, let's just say you're a young kid and you mess up and you find out you're pregnant and you're 2 weeks past your whatever. Now, I don't know scientifically when you have a heartbeat and when it becomes a child. I don't know that. But I do know there is a time in between that time. I think if you were to have an abortion, and it should be legal, you should do it in the first probably 4 to 6 weeks of finding out. Now, if you're too stupid to find out, then you shouldn't be allotted that. I think once you have a heartbeat, once it becomes something, you shouldn't be given the opportunity to have an abortion, plain and simple. So you have all these people saying, well, it's my body, my choice. You're right. You should have made the choice the first 4 weeks or 6 weeks, or maybe it's even 8 weeks. I don't know what the exact timeline is, but I think everybody should have the opportunity right out of the gates before it becomes a fetus, before it becomes a child, before it becomes anything, when it's just a tadpole or whatever it is. I think everybody should have the opportunity to say, hey, you know what? I was raped, or I was molested, or I was in a shitty relationship, or I was drunk, or whatever. You have the first 4 to 8 weeks to make that decision. After that, you do not get the opportunity. You cannot have an abortion. You can't do it. Plain and simple. Once it becomes a heartbeat and a child, no, you shouldn't have that opportunity. Now, again, there's one other extenuating circumstance, and it's this. I think that when you go into a hospital and they tell you, hey, this is going to cost the life of the baby and the mother, we need to take the baby, I think that that's an okay decision to make. If I had to choose between my wife today and losing her and the baby, or just taking the baby, I would make that decision, as hard as it would be. Now, outside of those two circumstances, which I think are really easy to put rules on, you just say, hey, if you seek an abortion, totally fine. You have up into the first 8 weeks. If you're stupid as shit and you don't know you're pregnant for 2 months, your dumbass needs to have a kid. I don't know what to
Yeah, but there are a lot of dumbasses out there, right?
Okay, well, that's your consequence, because you're stupid shit and you didn't realize for 2 months that you missed your period. You didn't realize you were pregnant. You're a dumbass and you deserve to do this. You don't get the option. Sorry. That's just the way it is. It's not like you didn't know it was a possibility. Nobody got pregnant without having sex. They just didn't.
Right.
So at the end of the day, if that's what you seek, then you should be responsible enough to say, hey, man, like, I don't know what to tell you, but you're past your 8 weeks. So you don't get the opportunity. You just don't. So you ban it completely unless you give them that first little leeway to make the decision when it's not a heartbeat, when it's not, whatever. And again, I don't know the exact dates, but I know that there is a time before it is a child and not.
Okay, I got you. I get it. The heartbeat is so. Tell me about your coaching program. You started because it seems like it went from 0 to 60 in 3.5, right? Like, how did you structure that? I guess it's one program is one package. Usually, you see coaching programs, they have multiple packages. That's not true with yours?
No, not necessarily. I have 2 programs. I have a group mentoring where it allows people to come in at $297 a month or $5,800 for the lifetime. Right. That is really simple. I get on 2 phone calls each week with every single person in the group. They can ask questions. They can message me. It puts them in my app. I have an app, a Limitless Society app, where it connects everybody. And then the second program is one-on-one mentoring. That's not an option for everybody, because I don't want to waste their time, their money, or my time. I only mentor with real motherfuckers. I just do. And there's not a lot of real motherfuckers out there. So I'm not just out giving my time to anybody. My one-on-one program is a very high ticket, but it's also for high earners who want to make a shit ton of money and have a ton of success. And Limitless Society is really simple, really, really simple. People keep asking me, well, what is it? What do you do? Yada, yada, yada. I keep it simple now. I help you become the greatest version of yourself. And the greatest version of you is rich, successful, beautiful relationships, has everything they want physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. That's what I help cultivate. That's what I build. And that's what I teach. And everything is based around that. So for those who are listening, they're like, I don't know, is Limitless for me? Do you want to become the greatest version of you or not? And listen, there's a lot of people who don't. There's a lot of mediocre motherfuckers out there. There just is. But if you want to become the greatest version of you, you should join Limitless, because it's a group of people, thousands of people, who literally want that. They want those. So you get in with me, I teach you, and then you surround yourself with badass people in a community who want to get better. And dude, it's as simple as that. I'm not going to tell you, I can make you better in real estate. I can make you more money. I can do this. I can do. No. I'm going to make you the best version of you. And the best version of you makes a shit ton more money than you're currently making. The best version of you is in better shape. The best version of you has a better relationship. The best version of you is a better leader, makes better decisions, is happier, has more peace. If that's what you seek, you need to get Limitless Society. It's that simple.
And that's 2 calls a week. Is that correct?
2 calls a week. The first call, I focus on personal development. The second call, I focus on business development. And then, of course, along with that is we do about 4 events a year, like the Limitless Arena you just saw. And all of those events are free for whoever's in the group.
So the calls a week, for anybody maybe looking to start a coaching company or something like that, or a consulting agency, because there's some sort of similarities to it, right? How does that work? Is it in a group? Do you have like 1,000 people in this group? Is it?
Yeah.
Is
so
100?
The calls are on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I have because of my times, I don't have a ton of people. There's usually 150 to 200 people on the call.
Okay.
So that's kind of our numbers. The cool thing is in the app, you can watch the calls anytime you want. They're in a vault there. So you can watch every call I've ever made.
So I'm curious, how many people actually sign up and how many show up? Do you know? Do you know those numbers?
So I think we've had about 2,500 people sign up for the group.
Yeah.
I think active, we have like half of that, right?
Yeah.
And in the app that are active and those who show up on the call is like half of that.
Okay.
So 500-600 people
on the call.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you said 150.
Well, so there's 2 pieces to the call. The live, which is 150 to 200. The other number I take is the recording and how often it's played in the first 24 hours.
Got it.
So most people who can't be on the call or don't get on the call or for some reason can't be there, I track how well they get on in 24 hours. And that's about 500 to 600 people.
Mm-hmm. So what days are your calls? When do you have your calls?
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay. That's $297. They're like, they can just take it or leave it.
And they can come and go. If they don't like my group, they can get out the next month. I have no reason to put people into a life that they don't want. And if you don't want to put in the time and the work and the energy and the money, I don't want you in the group. It's that simple.
Just showing up. You have 2,500 sign up and only 150 actually show. They want it, right? Would you say?
I think everybody wants it. The problem is, and this is why I charge, because people keep asking why it's not free. I tell people, if you don't invest in you, you're never going to grow. I will stand behind. I will fight people to the death over that. If you don't put money into you, you will not grow. I've never met someone who was like, hey man, can I get it for free? And then they see results. Never. I've never seen it, dude. Even for my own self, if I don't put money into it, it means nothing to me. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's the truth, So again, I tell people, like, dude, buy the $5,800. Be in a lifetime. You're going to spend the rest of your life trying to become better. Why would you even do the $297? And I'll tell you, dude, statistically, those who do $5,800 compared to those that do $297, $5,800 always do better in the group. They just do. because they have more invested. Surprise, surprise.
I feel like whoever spends the most is the most successful.
Dude, and that's as stupid as that sounds.
I mean, exactly.
That's what it is. Dude, I spend more money than any person I know on my personal development. I do.
Yeah.
Dude, I spend it on mentors and people and getting groups and getting rooms with tons of money. And guess what? I'm very successful.
Right. Got it. Yeah.
Again, people that disagree with that, I guarantee you they're broke as shit. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I agree. In my experience, it doesn't always give its benefit right away necessarily at coaching, but it may be a year down the line or 18 months down the line. At some point, someone in that network or that coaching will kick in and reclaim its value and give you a 10x on it, something like that. That's how I feel about coaching, because I always used to be like, oh, I need it now. But then I finally had to make enough where, okay, I'm getting coaching, but it's okay if I spend it and if it doesn't work. But then I realized I got enough of it. It's just like, okay, it may kick in later on down the line. So that's kind of how I feel about it a little bit.
Dude, 100%. And that's what I tell people all the time. At the end of the day, it's really simple. If you spend money in you, you grow. If you bitch and complain and find excuses and don't spend money on you, you stay the same. I've watched that happen over and over and over again. Here's the thing. I've never met someone successful that didn't tell you they had to invest money in them. I've never met that person.
Yeah, for sure. All right. And I got one more question. I was reading it over. And I kind of know what you're going to answer, but I wanted to ask it anyways, because sometimes people, it's hard, is joy and fun real for success? Because, sometimes.
What do you mean by that?
Like, is joy and fun real? Is
it really a part of success?
I get when I was writing it down, maybe I was thinking, okay, are they really having fun? Are they joyful? These super, super wealthy people. I don't know.
No. I'll answer in whatever form I think you're asking.
Right.
I think joy and fun and happiness are not tied to success money-wise, just so you know. I think those who are truly successful, and you can kind of mark this, if you are truly successful, you live in peace, like actual peace, not happiness, not joy, not fun. Peace comes from being successful across the board. I have peace because I know that if something comes financially, I have money to take care of it. I have peace because I know if somebody came to my door and wanted to threaten my family, I'm in a great spot to make something happen. I have peace because I have freedoms. I have peace because I have a great relationship. I have peace because I'm a great father. Those are the things that make me successful. So I would tie, rather than fun or joy to success, I would tie peace to it.
How do you have so much peace when you're thinking about everybody dying around you so much? I was just teasing.
No, I mean, dude, truthfully, death is a peaceful thing. If you're prepared and you're doing what you're supposed to, it's peaceful.
So this is crazy because I read a book and they were like, hey, walk through a graveyard. And I actually did that recently as a reminder. I think it was in The Power of Positive Thinking. He's like, walk through a graveyard. I took my son there, which I kind of like. I was like, these people are dead. They're not coming back. That, do you know anybody here? Kind of like weird stuff, like just being through, I've been to a graveyard forever. Hopefully I don't have to go anytime soon. But, I was like, it suggested I do that. And I don't know, what do you do that? Or what are your thoughts? Is that crazy? Just crazy?
No, I don't spend time. No, I don't spend, but I do. Again, I wake up and I think on it. I go to bed and I think on it. It's that simple.
Do you meditate or do you do anything like that?
That's when I say think on it, that's what I do.
So how long do you meditate for? Like 10 minutes, an hour?
15 minutes.
Do you really?
And then I enjoy my sauna and ice bath at night, and that's about 30 to 45 minutes. So I do that.
How long are you icing for?
Oh, I sauna for 23 and I ice bath for 3.
Okay. Yeah. At night. So you choose at night.
Yeah, I go to bed right after. It dumps a ton of hormones that recover me. And so I go to bed and I get great sleep.
And what time do you wake up, like to work out? I'm guessing
6:30.
6:30 every day, 7 days. Do you take what's that?
Every day I'm in bed by 10:30ish, and I wake up by 6:30.
Are you working out every morning?
Yeah, every day.
7 days?
I take Sunday off. I rest Sunday.
You what's that?
I rest Sunday.
Do you sleep in or yeah?
No, I can't sleep in. It throws off your rest cycle. So I might lay there for a little while, but I don't sleep in.
Yeah. And do you use any like trackers to track anything on you, or you just no?
I used to, but now I know exactly what it is. I don't really need them.
Right. I got you. I hear you on that. All right. Anything else you want to put out there to wrap? I mean, besides your event it's April 27th?
April 27th will be the event.
Okay. And then when's the dinner? Is that the night before?
That'll be the night before April 26th.
Okay. And they find that on your website, is it?
Yeah, I haven't announced it yet, so I won't let it out, but it will most likely be thelimitlessarena.com.
The Limits. Okay. So we're still okay. I guess there's a bit of time.
I'm probably going to announce it. I don't know when you're going to air this, but I'll probably announce it in less than 30 days.
Okay. All right. Nice. Exciting. All right. I'm excited. I'm excited for it. All right. Anything else? You want to wrap it up? You good?
That's it, my man. I got to get to my next appointment. I appreciate you having me on.
Keaton, thank you so much, man. I look forward to hearing from you soon.